The Wrap has partnered with CANV's, the emotion measurement AI company, for a weekly look at some of the characters and personalities that have TV viewers the most worked up on social media. The data below covers October 17 to 23 and is drawn from the most emotionally reacted to television programs, including broadcast, cable, streaming and PPV. A guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, an actress returning to American Horror Story, and the LA Dodgers had viewers talking passionately on social media over the past 7 days. ESPN's broadcast of the Houston Rockets vs. Los Angeles Lakers game was one of the most emotionally reacted to programs of the period measured, generating 95,333 emotional reactions. Lakers guard Rajon Rondo drove a ton of emotion during the game, especially at the end when a fight broke out between him, Chris Paul and Brandon Ingram, which resulted in ejections from the game and subsequent suspensions. Viewers had a lot to say about the brawl and where to place blame. "This Lakers-Rockets game is crazy. Emo, Ingram and Paul initiated everything. You can't push a man in his back nor try to poke a man's eye out." Rondo was responding to Paul's eye jab. In other news, Lance Stevenson was as cool as the other side of the pillow. Scott Williams, at Scott Williams, October 21, 2018. "This is gonna end up being about Rondo and CP3, but main cause of this stupid fight was Ingram. For no reason he first pushes Harden, then gets in ref's face, and after Melo and Zo calm him down he rushes back and throws a sucker punch." Machiavello, at Velo15, October 21, 2018. "I never liked CP3 vibe-wise. Not surprised Rondo snuffed him. CP3 been had it coming. He always got an attitude, no ring, but one of the best pure point guards, and Rondo got one. Chris probably a hater lol." Echo, at Echo is the name, October 21, 2018. "What I take from the fight, and the early games so far? Rondo is engaged and he cares, and it looks like these are conditions when he is usually very good." The actress had previously appeared in seasons 1 and 3 of the anthology series, and it was announced in late summer that she'd be back for this round as well. Her appearance drove a lot of positive emotion around the episode, with some people calling out how this series has a very talented female cast. Tonight's episode of "And while Yasid Sarah Paulson for directing such a work of art." Chris Collier, at Topher 9200, October 18, 2018. "Oz has the most incredibly talented female cast. Sarah Paulson, Jessica Lange, Kathy Bates, Tysa Farmiga, Lily Rabe, Frances Conroy, Emma Roberts, Billy Lord. They've made the series what it is, an all-star cast all around, but the ladies take the cake." Emily M. at _Guacamosley, October 18, 2018. "American Horror Story Apocalypse Episode 6 proves that Murder House is still the best and the scariest season ever. And Jessica Lange is the queen. Once again she was operatic and magnificent as Constance. A masterclass in acting. Brava." CK, ad hoc Democrat, October 18, 2018. "The Los Angeles Dodgers squared off against the Boston Red Sox in Game 1 of the 2018 World Series, sparking 88,507 during the Fox broadcast. The Dodgers drove the majority of emotion during the evening, and it was both positive and negative. Fans chimed in from all over to root for the team or express hope that it would go down in flames against the Red Sox. The Dodgers did indeed lose, with a final score of 4-8. It's time for Dodger baseball, at LA Dodgers vs. Boston Red Sox baseball championship matchup hasn't occurred since 1916 when Babe Ruth was still walking the field. At the time the Dodgers were known as the Brooklyn Robins. We couldn't be more. https://t.co/bbmg9zj4llpic.twitter.com/62tkmpznvx. Pez Cantina, at Pez Cantina, October 24, 2018. First game between Red Sox and Dodgers about to start. Hoping Sale can outpitch Kershaw. Touched to hear all-time favorite performer, James Taylor, sing national anthem. Because man, I'm so sick of Boston sports teams being good. Come on Dodgers. Can't wait to watch the Red Sox feed them in this World Series and see the Dodgers lose in back-to-back World Series. Bubba J, at Bubbage2, October 23, 2018. The key to successfully using CGI is to at least semi-convincingly integrate it with everything else, a task that many movies have failed to do over the last few decades. So let's take a look at some of the worst offenders. Die Another Day, 2002. The 90s and early aughts were a magical time because of all the filmmakers who really thought that the technology of that moment was good enough that they could pull off any crazy stuff they could imagine. But they were very wrong, and this sequence where James Bond falls off a glacier and windsurfs away is a testament to the folly of those years. Justice League, 2017. We probably all know the story by now. Henry Cavill had to pop in for reshoots while Mission Impossible Fallout was still in production and couldn't shave off his facial hair. Warner Brothers tried to CGI out the mustache, but it was not at all convincing and ended up honestly being really hilarious. Avengers: Age of Ultron, 2015. For the most part, the CGI in this Avengers sequel was as good as it needed to be. And then Iron Man would pop into a scene looking like a test render from the original 2008 Iron Man flick. Fantastic Four, 2015. The behind-the-scenes drama on this flick involved, reportedly, the director being fired during production and half the movie being rewritten and reshot. And, like with Justice League, the CGI generally ended up looking real rough. There are parts that look like they would have been at home in the previous Fantastic Four movies from more than a decade earlier. Freddy vs. Jason, 2003. This slasher mashup was not exactly a major budget affair, so the dopey CGI on this part where Freddy Krueger turned into a weed-smoking caterpillar isn't too much of a struggle to get past. But it does look really bad. Star Wars, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, 2002, could honestly do a whole list of the goofiest CGI just from Star Wars movies, but this part where Anakin tries to surf on the back of this herd beast on Naboo is an all-timer. Star Wars Special Edition, 1997. George Lucas, amusingly, got it into his head that the problem with the original Star Wars trilogy was that it needed CGI, and also that the technology of the mid-1990s was good enough to finally fulfill his original vision. And so we, for a few years until he updated it again for the DVD release, had to live with this incredibly horrible CGI job at the Hut. A Sound of Thunder, 2005. This really awful movie will always be one of my faves because it managed to have an alleged $100 million budget yet still look as cheap as any random thing airing on the Sci-Fi at the time. The Matrix Reloaded, 2003. As was the case with Star Wars, the Wachowskis' ambitions for the Matrix sequels, and Reloaded in particular, definitely outpaced what could actually be convincingly delivered. And so what is ultimately still a very fun sequence, Neo vs. 100 Smiths, ended up the butt of jokes for so many years after the movie came out. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, 2001. There was a whole thing in the early where fantasy movies would have real humans ride on top of not the most convincing CGI creations. The bathroom troll gets bonus points because the lights flicker throughout the scene, making it look somehow even more fake. Air Force One, 1997. This one holds a special place in my heart because it comes at the end of a movie that was very light on CGI up to that point. And, suddenly, that happens. The Lawnmower Man, 1992. This Stephen King adaptation is the very definition of ahead of its time, at least in the sense that everyone involved should have known there was no way they could possibly render this virtual reality environment in a way that looked good back then. The Mummy Returns, 2001. I put this one last because it's probably the most offensive of all the movies on this list. Casting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the villainous Scorpion King is a great idea. But The Mummy Returns is the only movie that has managed to make him look ugly. And it's hard to forgive such a thing. The key to successfully using CGI is to at least semi-convincingly integrate it with everything else, a task that many movies have failed to do over the last few decades. So let's take a look at some of the worst offenders.